let's chat for a minute, shall we? Let's chat about one of the creepiest characters to ever grace the silver screen. Every now and then, a film comes out, and there's a character in it that really makes you want to question everything you believe in. For example, the BFG. Jerry the Bellybutton Elf from Ren and Stimpy. Any one of us from Unleash the Ghouls. There are a lot of freaks out there is my point. But this freak is one of the freakiest freaks in cinematic history. Criminally insane, unstable, kinky, likes a dress up. It is of course Norman Bates from Psycho. If you haven't seen Psycho, first of all, what? Second of all, no problem. We don't judge here, we want to help. Psycho is the charming story of Marion Crane, a woman who nicks 40 grand from her boss so she can fuck off with her boyfriend Sam. Little tidbit for you, Psycho was the first American film to show a toilet being flushed. Something that would have shocked audiences back then in the 60s. Nowadays I've become so desensitized by world news, TV and computer games that you could show me literally anything in the cinema and I wouldn't bat an eyelid. Marion's on her way to run off somewhere when she becomes profoundly knackered. She finds her way to the Bates Motel where she shacks up for the night. When she's there, she meets the creepy proprietor, Norman Bates. Now, even if you haven't seen the film, by this point the name should probably be ringing a couple bells because he's one of the most iconic horror characters of all time. His name is mentioned absolutely everywhere. At first he seems like a normal skinny bird-like singleton. You might even think he's handsome. If you're into that sort of sunken eyes, thin face and neat hair kind of thing, I prefer my serial killers a little bit Ed Kemper, you know? A big, cuddly murderous bear. While in her hotel room, Marion hears Norman arguing with his mum about Marion's presence at the hotel and Norman defends her. Oh, look at this, little knight in shining armour. He comes into Marion's room, has a little chat with her for a bit, gives her some dinner and flirts a little really, and this is the moment the film had two options for me. A, become a tense horror and psychological thriller, or B, become a frothy rom-com about two lovers who find each other in some stinky old shithole. Guess which way they go? Yeah, A, the Premiere-in Massacre. Marion decides that she'll drive back to Arizona the next day and return the 40 grand she stole. She hops in the shower and one of the tensest moments of the entire film happens. Her plans put on a permanent hold as we see a shadowy figure approaching the curtain. We only see the silhouette, but we can safely assume that it's Norman's mum? Marion's hit by a series of, frankly, shoddy stabs. Like, I'm sorry, I know this film is lauded and this is one of the most famous scenes of cinematic history, but come on. This is the fakest killing I have ever seen. Where's the knife going anywhere near Marion's body? Why on earth does Marion die while still standing, slowly fall into the ground 43 minutes after the last puncture wound? So Norman comes in later, all shocked and has to clean this shit up after his mum. He gets rid of the body, her car and even the money in a big swamp conveniently nearby the motel. We later, however, come to realise that it wasn't Norman's mum who committed the killings. Well, not strictly anyway. It was Norman. In a dress and a little wig. A turn and a half. So yeah, it turns out that Norman killed his own mum and her lover 10 years ago. He's probably got a bit of that old regret and thought, I know how to fix this. I'll mummify her, keep her in the basement, just like she would have wanted. Oh, Norman, you truly are a psycho. He does that and then honours a poor soul by keeping her alive, turning into her now and then and killing people that he fancies. Mother-son relationships, eh? Don't worry though, he is eventually captured and they find out what happened to Marion and blah blah blah, but right at the end is one of the most enduringly creepy moments from the film, and indeed, films in general. Norman's been caught and is being watched by the police, and internally we hear the mother's voice telling him that the murders were all him and that she wouldn't hurt a fly. And as we're hearing this, Norman just has this absolutely disturbed grin on his face. The sort of smile that you'd get in the film Smile, about all the people who smile. It's absolutely vile, but it's also a great film, and you can tell why it's so respected. One of the scariest things about the movie, however, is the remake they made in 1998. If you didn't know about this one, good. It was a shot-for-shot remake, but in colour, given one of the oddest castings ever known to man. Norman Bates, tall, frail, strangely menacing. Who do we get to play that? Who, in 1998, would be a good idea to portray that devilish man? Guy Pearce? John Hurt? No, who's left? Yep, well, there's only one choice, isn't there? Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn, yeah, I'm serious. Vince Vaughn plays Norman Bates in this film. Google it, right now. I dare you. But please, don't watch it. Watch the original Psycho, because it's the only one that should ever exist.